Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on European Confessions. The following story that you're going to be listening to, it was sent to me by one of our dear sisters. After that, we had a long conversation. So the message that she sent to me reads like this. Hello, Brother Nashi, how are you? Can you please post my own story as hidden identity? My brother, I just want to send a strong warning to the ladies that are out there. If you are in a relationship with a guy that you think you love with all of your heart, you need to know that at the end of the day, even if that guy disappoints you, do not try to prove a point to him by quickly dating another guy, especially these rich guys, because us ladies, that is what we do when we break up with a man that we love with all of our heart. The next thing that we will do is that to find a man that is financially stable so that we can hurt our ex-husband or our ex-boyfriends. This is what I tried to do. Brother Nashi, I was a woman who was married, and being married to my husband, I was like the happiest woman. I never thought that my marriage with my man was going to come to an end, because it was as if God had sent him to me. Anything that I wanted, he would make sure that he will do it for me. He loved me with all of his heart, but with time I started to notice that he was changing. The things that he started to do, they were quite painful. The words that he used to tell me, they were quite toxic. So like, you know that in our country, young girls, they are taught, like, when you are a teenager, they start to teach you like how to handle yourself in bed when you are with a man, chinangwari. And as for me, I didn't have an opportunity to do all of those things. So with time, my husband, he started to complain. But before, he used to say that I was really wonderful in bed. But all of a sudden, he started telling me that I do not know how to move my waist properly when I am on top of him. All that I do is I relax, and he's the one who will be working. And I was not acting as if I wanted to be with him. This was really painful. And then I had the news that he was now dating another woman. So this woman was quite an old woman than I am. And he started dating this woman when she had arrived from Zim, and she came into that location where me and my husband were staying. This woman, when she was now dating my husband, she knew about me and she wanted to hurt me. And the things that she used to go around telling some of her new friends, they were quite painful. I don't know what is wrong with these men. Once they have a girlfriend, they will go and they will tell their girlfriends everything, like the way that you perform in bed. That is what my husband will do whenever he was with his old girlfriend. He will tell his old girlfriend that my labia minora, they are not that long, such that I cannot please him. But as for that woman, she really had those long ones that she used whenever she was pleasing my husband. So this woman, she was going around the location telling some of my friends and other women in the location that the reason as to why my husband had turned into a cheater, it was because I was not taught the ways of how to please a man in bed. I was hurt. Then there was this other day when my husband had gone out, and on that day I said I want to go to him so that he can tell me if he still loves me or if he does not love me at all. So I then went to the place where that woman was staying. Everyone in the location that came from Zim, especially those ones that love gossip, they started to follow me, and they were actually encouraging me, because at the end of the day, they wanted to laugh at me, because everyone knew that my husband didn't love me at all. I was the only one who was in the dark. So I went there, and when I arrived at the place where my husband and his girlfriend were, then my husband got up from where he was sitting underneath the tree with his new lover, and he said, do not even dare to enter into this yard, because I will get you arrested. I do not love you. You do not know how to perform in bed. You cannot please me in bed. Go back to your parents so that they can teach you the proper ways to please a man in bed. I was truly hurt, and when I returned, I started to cry. That was when I went to work. I started working as a stay-in girl, but I still had an accommodation, a room that I was paying in another location. I had moved on with my life, but still I was in pain. The way that people had laughed at me, the way that he had told people how I act in bed, it had humiliated me, he had embarrassed me. I quickly wanted to move on with my life, and I said, I am not going to go for a broke man, but I want to go for a man that is capable of taking care of me. And yes, indeed, I found a man who was capable of taking care of me. There was this other guy, an old guy, who is very wealthy. He's in here in South Africa, but he's from Zim. We started to communicate. That old guy was the one who taught me how to do this thing of sex chatting. So we spoke for a very long time until I felt that I needed like him, like inside of me. I was now wanting a man to be with a man physically, not this thing of sexting. So he said, I want you to come to my place. But later on he changed and he said, okay, I am the one that is going to come and see you. As for my boss, he knew everything that had happened in my relationship and he felt sorry for me. So when I told them that I was now dating again, they said it is fine. He can come here. You can bring him here for the introductions so that we can get to know him. The guy drove from the province where he was staying and he came to the province where I am staying. I introduced him to my bosses and they said it is fine as long as he won't be stealing anything, he can be with you. He was driving a very beautiful car. We then slept together. But the thing that I could not understand about this rich blesser, Brother Nashi, was like this. When we were making love, he made sure that he was hiding his pee-pee from me. He was hiding his manhood from me. He did not want me to see like his manhood. The first time when we did it in the afternoon, he quickly did it and he avoided me at all costs. He didn't want me to touch it and he didn't want me to get near it. He only wanted it deep inside me until he had finished. Later on in the evening, it was dark. That was when we started again with our love making. But when God wants to show you something, when God wants to reveal something to you, certainly he's going to reveal it to you. What happened on that night, Brother Nash, it was sort of like a miracle. There was load shedding, but in our area we had been told, my boss had told me that I should not expect the electricity to be back after the loading schedule because there was a big problem that Eskom was supposed to come and sort out. They were thinking that maybe even 2 or 3 days without having any electricity. Since it was late at night when the electricity was gone, I forgot like to switch off the light in my room. We went to bed, then we started with our love making. But when I was handling his manhood, I felt like there were big bumps on his manhood, on the shaft of his manhood. But anyway, since it was big, I thought that maybe those were the consequences of his manhood being very big. Then when I was about to go on top of him so that I can ride him, that was when the electricity came back. When the electricity came back, this blesser just said, it happens in life. Do not be worried. You had your light switched on. Why? And he started to get embarrassed. So when I looked at his manhood, Brother Nashi, I saw that there were very big bumps on his manhood, on the shaft of his manhood, as if he had like an STI. And I saw a worm, a white worm that was coming out of his manhood. I started to cry. I cried out a lot and I said, so you have given me an STI? And I cried. And then this guy, he got up. He was also angry because he said, I didn't give you an STI. I said, so why does your manhood looks like this? Why do you have all of these big pimples on the shaft of your manhood? What is going on? Oh, I am going to die. You've given me an STI. This guy got up of the bed and he went to where his trousers was. He then pulled out this thing that still to this day I do not even understand what kind of an animal it was. It seemed as if it was a lizard or something. It was breathing, Brother Nanshi. He revealed that animal to me for only a couple of seconds, and I said, what the hell is that? Then the guy said, since you are saying that I have given you HIV and STI, I just want to tell you that I am not sick. You might be sick, but I am not sick. So we continued fighting until he told me that I am a ritualist, and these are the sacrifices that I did so that I can be rich. The worm that you see, this worm, it eats me alive. Those are the rituals that I did. Please relax. I didn't give you an STI. All of those bumps that you saw on my manhood, they are a result of being eaten alive by this worm that you saw. That guy then left me, and this guy, he had actually bought an iPhone for me, the first iPhone that I had ever used. He said, how much do you want? And I said, no, I do not want your money, please just go. And I gave him his iPhone, and he left. Since that day, he has never communicated with me. The only side effect that I saw after sleeping with this guy is that all the guys that I have tried to date, if I sleep with a guy only one round, Brother Nashi, that guy will hate me for the rest of his life. Like when we are dating on WhatsApp, the guy will be telling me how much he loves me. The moment that I make a mistake to open my legs for him, some of the guys that I have dated, they can't even finish one round because they'll start to hate me as if I am something that is very smelly. So I want ladies out there to be very careful, especially of these rich guys that just come into your life out of nowhere. Be careful of them. Yes, it hurts when your husband has dumped you for another woman, but if you have been dumped in a painful way, it is far much better for you to take your time. Take your time. Do not rush to be involved with these rich guys wanting to hurt your husband or your ex-boyfriend. This will cost you like it has costed me. Dear listeners, right there was a narration of a message that I received. Strange things do happen in this world.